Grateful. As a mainstay of pop culture for more than 2 decades, Madonna is used to calling the shots. But her latest turn in the spotlight wasn't exactly what she had in mind when she made headlines for wanting to adopt a 13-month-old African boy from Malawi. Meredith talked with Madonna on Tuesday about that decision and the controversy that followed.
Could you have anticipated what would happen when you decided you were going to adopt a child?
Absolutely not. I mean, I expected people to be cynical and say, oh, she's just doing this because she wants attention. You know, people accused me when I had my daughter that I did it as a publicity stunt, you know, so I expected that. But I didn't expect to be, you know, accused of kidnapping or, you know, doing something illegal, or I didn't expect to be demonized.
Do you think, Madonna, you did everything you could have done the right way? Do you think any of the criticism is fair in retrospect?
No, absolutely not. I followed every rule, every law, and every regulation. All the criticism is ultimately a blessing in disguise because now people know about Malawi and now people know about the orphans there, and
now David's home.
Yeah, yeah.
Has he adjusted? I mean, it's still very early, but
3 weeks have gone by, and now he's developed attachments. Now he throws tantrums. Now he, you know, doesn't want food or wants food, or he's now, you know, developed a personality.
How would you describe his personality?
He's got a terrible temper. He's very flirtatious, and he's hysterically funny.
Is that you?
I do have a terrible temper.
David, born a Christian, will he be raised a Christian?
If David decides he wants to be a Christian, then so be it.
But right now he's got the red string of the Kabbalah.
Yes, he does, but I believe in Jesus and I study Kabbalah, so I don't see why he can't too.
I've had friends and known people who've adopted outside of their race and worried about it, what the child is in for. Is that something that you thought about at all with regard to David? Does it cross your mind? Is it an issue?
I don't think it's not an issue to me. I've certainly thought about it,
But there is a lot of racism in the world.
There is. But I think a lot of people have a problem with the fact that I've adopted an African child, a child who has a different colored skin than I do. You know, I have people say to me on the streets when I'm walking down the street, why did you adopt a black child? You know, I mean, there's...
They come out and say this to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And what do you say?
I don't say anything. I don't dignify their question with a reply.
Well, you have a lot to say. You certainly did on the Confessions tour, and some of it was controversial. You're propped on the crucifix. You've got the
Crown of Thorns.
Crown of Thorns, that's right. And people came after you. Vatican said very poor taste, meant to be provocative by being blasphemous. Others said publicity stunt.
I mean, my entire show is a publicity stunt. Let's face it. I'm putting on a show to sell my record, to make my points, to express
So you're
my
not shy
point of
about
view.
saying that?
No. My goal was to be able to talk about the AIDS epidemic in Africa and wake people up. Basically, I'm taking the teachings of Jesus and the essence of Jesus and saying, you know, look, we have a responsibility here to look after these people. And of course I'm being provocative, and of course I'm using a symbol that I know will attract attention because I think it's a problem that needs attention.
Your book, The English Roses, Too Good to Be True.
Yeah.
Bina, is that how you pronounce her name? She's talking about how, with a teacher who's lost her husband.
Yeah.
Bina says, well, I lost my mom. And it's very touching, and I felt it was you talking somewhere.
You know, I did lose my mother when I was young, and I thought that that was a good idea to explore because children have to deal with loss and death, whether it's their parents or someone they care for at some point or another. You know, I also think, well, I didn't really grow up with a mother, and I don't have that experience, and I hope to be the mother that I didn't have to David, and as I've hoped to be the mother to my other children.
I'm just curious, how do you make it work?
Well, it ain't easy.
Do you ever think about chucking it?
Chucking it.
You've made all the money you ever need to make. You got a nice life.
Well, I obviously have, you know, I have things I want to say and accomplish, and I don't just staying home and looking after my children and being a mother and a wife is not what I want. I want more.
And you can see much more of Meredith's interview with Madonna tonight on Dateline at 10, 9 Central Time here on NBC. And you can catch Madonna's Confession on the Dance Floor tour on NBC on November 22nd. And still to come here on Today.